I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but 2021 is on its way to becoming one of the best years for animated films. I mean, so far we've got Mitchells vs. Machines, Bombay Rose, Raya, and Janzia. And it's not just movies, we already have a lot of really good cartoons, anime series, and video games. We've got Kid Cosmic, Wonder Egg Priority, and Persona 5 Strikers to name a few. There is a lot of stuff coming out this year. I mean, the date I'm currently writing this is May 31st, and I've already accumulated 40 or so animated films to watch and a plethora of shows to watch on the side. And somehow, a majority of the stuff I'm going to sit through has been condensed into this 2-month time period, much to my dismay and my excitement. So whether I'm looking forward to them or not, I'm going to list off every single one of them and a few from this coming fall, and I am going to talk about them. We'll start off going by order of release date with a few exceptions, go into some works with obligatory releases, and then end the video off with what I am most looking forward to this summer, regardless of when they will come out. Let's begin. So first we've got the rest of Sunset Paradise. I've already talked about my first impressions of this show back when the pilot episode first dropped. Glitch Productions dropped the intro sequence for this show as well, and it is flipping amazing, just as great as the pilot. If anything, I just want to see more Meggy and more Ori and more of this mysterious cat girl that I've seen in the OP and the trailers. Please, I want to know more about her. I love the animation, I love the expressions, I love the music. This will probably be one of my favorite animated shows for this year, and certainly one of this year's most underrated. Wonder Egg Priority is still my favorite of the year so far. Next up, we got Wish Dragon coming on Netflix the 11th of June. On the surface, it does seem to look like Aladdin, but if the genie was kind of a hack, from the trailer, I'm not sure whether it'll lean away from this route because of familiar tropes, but so far, I am glad to see the main boy and main girl insist that they are just friends. The main boy says he doesn't wish to get together with his best friend, he just wants to spend time with her again, just like the old days. That is so cute and very refreshing, if they continue going that route. It seems funny too. The only thing I'm not looking forward to are the antagonists wanting the pot. I mean, just give me my Western animated slice of life movie already, please. Oh wait, it looks like we are going to get something like that. We have Luca, a new movie by Pixar, which looks like an adorable slice of life friendship story with tidbits of fantasy elements. And I genuinely did not expect for both of the titular main characters to be sea monsters. I'm not expecting this to reach the same heights as WALL-E or Wolfwalkers, but I am still going to watch it nonetheless. The designs look adorable, the animation is fluid and fun, the voice cast is incredible, and so far I'm liking this. And when is it coming out? June 18 on Disney Plus? Okay, I know I'm not the first person to say this, but I really don't like how Disney doesn't consider Pixar movies theater-worthy right now. Oh sure, it might just be because of the pandemic, but really? You're going to play Cruella in theaters instead of the Italian Salamander Wolfwalkers parody? I've already had a distaste for Disney as a company, never so much as to stink lower than Illumination, but I just really don't like what they practice. I really hope Pixar's next film, Turning Red, gets to come out in theaters. But Luca isn't the only thing coming out made by Pixar. On July 2nd, we've got Monsters at Work. Not gonna lie, I feel like this is gonna blow. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a big fan of CG animated series that generally have a lower budget than movies. Monsters Inc., from what I know, has been a lot of people's favorite Pixar movie, and for some people Monsters University kind of wavered how they felt about the original. The prequel didn't change anything for me, but I am sure that Monsters at Work is going to slay me. But it is Pixar, and there is a reason animation and series have a bit of a downgrade from theatrical releases, mainly to focus on stories, so we'll see. But there's something else coming out on July 2nd, Boss Baby Family Business. Hoo boy. Okay, believe it or not, I'm not scared of this. I really doubt that anything else released this year could stink as low as Tom and Jerry. Sure, it is very mainstream, the jokes are petty and silly, and it does look like the plot will be even more convoluted than the original, but generally I feel like the only way this movie could gain a reputation is if it gets nominated for an Oscar over anything else coming out this year, like Wish Dragon or Her Blue Sky or Mitchell's. As a film, the first movie wasn't really as awful as people made it out to be, but being nominated over Silent Voice did not help its reputation. And yes, the same applies to Ferdinand, which admittedly is a worse film than Boss Baby. Sure, I might not be scared of this movie, but I won't be too surprised if it turns out just as aggressively tone-deaf as the first, if not even less engaging. Putting aside the negative thoughts though, we've got the second season of My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, coming July 3rd, I think. I haven't watched through all of season 1 as of right now, but from what I have seen, it's pretty funny and it's pretty adorable. For what essentially boils down to a harem isekai, it surprisingly works wonders. A young gamer girl gets reincarnated into the villainess of her favorite game fortune lover, Katarina Clays. Upon realizing every single route the protagonist can take will result in either her exile or her death, she makes a plan to avoid every single red flag in the game. Little does she know, she's triggered everyone's romance flags, and everyone is in love with her, even the girls. But despite her being smart enough to cheat death, she only has 5 brain cells and is too stupid to realize how bad these people have gotten it for her. It's hilarious, it's adorable, it's genuine feeling, and I am greatly looking forward to the second season of this. The next day after, we're going to get The Duke of Death and His Maid, a CG anime adaptation of a manga that I have little to no knowledge about, except for the synopsis. A noble is cursed by a witch with a spell that kills everything he touches, so he is forced to move away into a mansion in the woods with his butler and maid. Sure, from the trailer, the CG doesn't look very impressive, it's no Beastars or Hello World, but story-wise it seems like it'll be cute and heartwarming, and I bet I'll shed at least 2 tears. And tone-wise, this feels very Corpse Bride with a slight tinge of the King Midas story. What with the Duke cursing everything he touches with little death unintentionally, and the setting and the characters having this sort of goth aesthetic with sprinkles of romance. So far this looks great, so I'm gonna watch it. Now, I don't think I will be able to see this movie this year, but for those of you who are currently residing in Japan, check out Mamoru Hosoda's Bell once it's finally released. Right now, there is little to no promotional material except for posters and minute-long trailers, and apparently Tom Moore and Ross Stewart from Cartoon Saloon are helping out with this, which just gives me another reason to be really hyped for it. It looks beautiful, and I am greatly anticipating its sci-fi epic aesthetic. It looks like a Summer Wars spin-off, but not. It looks like it'll revolve around this freckled princess who turns out to be a country bumpkin in the human world, and also this delinquent beast that's apparently misunderstood. It's that obscure. I'm so excited to see how this plays out. There is almost nothing I can go off of, and that's why I'm excited. I am greatly anticipating this film's release, but unfortunately, I can't see it on its initial release because it's in another country. But I can see Space Jam 2 on its initial release, which is the same day as Bell. So I've never had a nostalgic attachment to the original, nor did I ever have an emotional attachment to it, so I wasn't all that crazy about it having a sequel. And after looking at the trailer, it looks like it's going to suck. The setup feels bland and boring, the animation isn't all that impressive, and the silly moments just feel dumb. But I also have to acknowledge how trailer tricks are used. If anything, it might just be the trailer that's aggressively tone deaf and the actual film might be good. Kind of similar to how I felt about Sunset Paradise. It'll probably be fine, but so far it looks greatly unimpressive. Actually, maybe I spoke too soon. This movie looks like it's going to suck. Oh my god. Okay, one thing right off the bat, Adam Sandler is no longer voicing Dracula. It's Brian Holt now, and he's actually doing a pretty good job. Other than that, this trailer freaking sucks. So apparently Dracula doesn't like Johnny anymore because he's not a monster. Like, never mind every single time Dracula and Johnny have worked together in the original and in the sequels. In the second movie, he stands up against his father because anti-racism and stuff. Dracula even gets together with a human in the third movie. The animation looks static and not as cartoony as the previous films. It sucks, and I want to get rid of it. Van Helsing is there because... why? No joke, this literally just feels like an OVA special and not a movie. But I get why this has to be made. Cash grabs are literally just meant to fund the actually interesting stuff, like Mitchell's and Primal for Sony and Gennady Tartakovsky, respectively. But cash grabs can have heart, so it's just really disappointing that this is where the talent is going in order to get the money. Looking forward to how they screw this up. This movie looks like it's going to blow. Now I know I've spoken too soon. This movie looks like it's going to blow. The animation looks cute, but shallow. This is barely a step up from even X-Arm. It's literally implied in the trailer. It's another one of those animal versus man setups. The mayor brings attention to influencers. Great f***ing job, marketing department. This trailer sucks. It's dumb. It's pandering. It's annoying. I used to really like Paw Patrol, but the show's done very little to be intelligent enough to warrant a theatrical feature. This movie looks like it's going to suck, and I'm still gonna watch it. You know, I don't enjoy being so negative all the time, so let's talk about movies and shows with more obligatory releases, starting with Tigerfish and Josie. This technically came out in December of 2020, but currently it doesn't have a Western release, so we'll see. The titular male character named Tsuneo becomes the caretaker of a wheelchair-bound young girl named Jose for financial purposes, but over time, he learns about her unique perspective on life and helps her interact with the people around her better. Just looking at the trailer, it looks stunningly beautiful. And it does sound like this will be a very sweet romance film with lots of emotions. I'm hoping that it'll have a lot more emotional resonance than Pancreas. Oh yeah, by the way, I've seen Pancreas now, and it's better than Soul, but it's still a 6 out of 10. Here's to hoping that Jose won't die like every other predictable romantic and/or slice-of-life tragedy, which brings me to Sing a Bit of Harmony. A new transfer student arrives and brings happiness to everyone around her through song, and already people are predicting that she's going to die. People are thinking that this means that they need to prepare themselves to be emotionally invested and shed some tears, but if you ask me, this just shows how predictable these premises have gotten. Essentially describing something as a sunshine character dies to fuel emotion can give you an idea of what the entire film is going to be about. Granted, sometimes they outright say the character dies in the opening, but at least get me invested in a character I actually care about. But at this point, there's only one trailer out and nobody has really seen this thing, so we'll just have to see if it's good or not. Next, we've got The Ghost and Molly McGee coming to Disney Channel this October. Or probably Disney XD. I don't care, it looks amazing. Just going off the opening and the promo clip, the animation is freaking stellar. Think Kid Cosmic, but a bit more fluid and with sunshine instead of retro comic aesthetic. And the ghost voice sounds very familiar. It looks cute, it looks fun, if not for the sound design being a bit dull, but it is just a promo clip. The voice work is great and I am greatly looking forward to this. Loving how it isn't just another Disney XD isekai. Speaking of anime, back in April, Demon Slayer Mugen Train was released in select theaters, with an obligatory streaming service release sometime this summer or at least this year. I've heard good things about the movie, but to be honest, I'm not very excited. Despite the anime being really good, I don't like the long anime arcs, and it isn't very memorable and can get quite irritating at certain intervals. But I'll watch the movie, and apparently at the time this film was released in Japan, the manga concluded, and let me just say that might be one of the best marketing moves of all time. The film is also a different breed from other anime films. Unlike the My Hero Academia movies, which are hella overrated, this is an actual continuation of the original anime, so yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Now we have Dragon Maid S to look forward to, KyoAni's latest work. I am a massive fan of Kyoto Animation, and Dragon Maid is probably one of my favorite animated shows. A hard worker named Kobayashi comes across a dragon named Toru who can turn into a human, and through wacky hijinks they start to form a familial bond with many other characters like Kana, Riko, Fafnir, and Luca. Kana is sadistic, Riko is cute, Fafnir is a giant mood. I don't like Luca. I love the series' take on the family we make and how family isn't tied to just blood, because Toru's father is an ass. In regards to the coming second season, I hope to see more Kana and Riko and Toru and not Luca. As for Ilulu, I kind of already made a video that's tangentially related to her. I don't mind her design, I'm just worried about how the writers are going to use her, which is a fear I have with every new character. I do trust that she will be a compelling character with a lot of heart. After all, sometimes creators have good reasons why they make certain decisions. Speaking of suggestive stuff, we've got the OVA special for Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. I made claims in my genuinely awful Valentine's video that Tonikawa is an adorable and funny rom-com that breaks rom-com convention, and I still stand by that. It was pretty wholesome and cute, displaying a genuine relationship, but from the trailer, it looks like they've upped the ante on the sexual tension. I don't know what the hell this is going to lead to, but I'm gonna watch it for Nasa and Skasa moments. Of course, we have some other obligatory Netflix, HBO, and anime releases, stuff called Dead India and Added Twist Scientists, both of which are based on books, but namely Gendy Tartakovsky's Unicorn Warriors Eternal. Gendy already has Primal under his belt, and it's actually pretty great. I just hope that this new series is more than enough to justify the cash-grabbing existence of Hotel Transylvania 4, and of course, other releases that stray further from cartoons and into anime territory, though a lot of my expectations for these are just based on posters and plot summaries. Stuff like Scarlet Nexus, which apparently is based on a video game that isn't even released yet. Wow, that might be one of the best decisions in regards to promotional material that I've seen in a while. Then there's Ore Tsushima, in which the literal cat on the poster was enough to sell me on this. Drugstore in Another World, yeah, that title alone was enough to get me mildly interested. The Detective is Already Dead, which admittedly doesn't seem impressive from the trailer, but it certainly looks pretty, and otherwise it looks like it'll be a cool battle anime derivative of the adventure drama genre hybrid. Oh yeah, and something called The Great J Will Not Be Defeated, which is reportedly just as popular as Nagatoro and Komi Can't Communicate. I mean, I'm gonna watch it just to see what the hype is all about. But speaking of Komi Can't Communicate, we're finally getting into the shows and movies I am looking forward to the most, and that starts with Komi. I do wish that Kyoto Animation would have been the studio to have worked on this, with Naoko Yamada as the director, but I'm okay with it being by the studio that made Odd Taxi. As is, it looks beautiful. It captures the spirit of the original manga so perfectly. Look at the poster! Good lord, it is so majestic. I've caught up with the manga, having read all 300 or so chapters, so for those who haven't read it, I'll just sum up the premise for you. The ordinary Tadano learns that popular transfer student Komi has communication disorder, meaning that everyday interaction is almost a no-go for her. He decides to help her on her journey to make 100 friends, and through wacky hijinks meets a variety of characters, including a classmate who is basically Paintbrush but if they had a sadistic sense of humor, a narcissistic badass, a literal narrator, a curmudgeon with a heart of gold, and the worst character, to name a few. What starts as a sweet slice-of-life deconstruction of human interaction gradually shifts to a more conventional romantic dramedy. I'm not talking down on the later chapters, but there is a noticeable downgrade of quality in the dialogue. Nonetheless, I am greatly looking forward to how the anime will adapt the first volume of the manga, and especially how it will adapt the best arc in the manga with probably one of my favorite kid characters in anything. On Magnolia is still best animated child though. And the Wonder Egg Priority OVA, which is coming June 30th. I think. I am greatly looking forward to this 40-minute finale. It's unclear whether this is just a filler special or the actual finale of the first season. Speaking of the show is amazing. To try and speed through the synopsis, Ai Odo is a shutting gamer girl who comes across an egg given to her by someone in an underground arcade. With that egg, and with the help of 3 other girls, she will be able to change the future. I love everything about this show. The story, the characters, the animation, the soundtrack, all of it is stellar. Despite its fun, magical girl setup, this series is difficult to watch and is incredibly disturbing. It covers so many serious toned subjects that are given the sincerity they clearly deserve. I am greatly looking forward to this series' conclusion. I just love everything about it. The lore is a bit confusing, but if you haven't seen Wonder Egg Priority, you absolutely should catch up. Speaking of shows to catch up on, we've got the 2nd season of The Owl House. As many can attest, this is one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. And I got all that excitement from its first season alone. There is so much potential for the 2nd season. Give me my Gus development. Give me my Lilith redemption arc. Give me Amity's parents ruining everything. Give me the answers to who Keen is. Give me Hootie funny moments. But most of all, give me the Lumity kiss. They've already gotten some interesting episode ideas, so I am greatly looking forward to those. And that's before we get to the brilliant trailer for the 2nd season already, with hints of Lumity and Amity with her hair down. On the topic of beautiful animation with little tinges of gayness, Aquatope of White Sand is coming around July 8th. A story by PA Works about 2 girls working at an aquarium. One whose dream is to work there, and the other giving up her dreams of being an idol and having the aquarium serving as a substitute. The trailer is freaking amazing, featuring spectacular visuals, including some slight tinges of psychedelic imagery, as well as a beautiful melancholy score. This series is looking like a beautiful reincarnation of Adachi to Shimamura meets Children of the Sea. Or more accurately, Ride Your Wave. Just going off that alone, if you've seen those works, you know that this is going to be an amazing show. But by far, the #1 animated thing that I am looking forward to the most this year is the 2020 Violet Evergarden movie. I have said many times before that Violet Evergarden is my absolute favorite show of all time. That might change in the future considering I haven't seen a lot yet, but I digress. I love the characters, I love the art, I love everything KyoAni has got going for it. The original show follows Violet Evergarden, a former child soldier who decides to become a postwoman after the war to sort out how she feels about her seemingly late father figure. The spin-off movie is a bit of an extension of that, and probably one of my favorite films of all time. And this movie, I have no doubt, will probably be stunningly spectacular. Granted, there is one retcon that I'm kind of mixed about, but apparently it was also done in the light novels even at the original ending point, so not only is it an intended detail, but that also means we're mostly dealing with original content. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Nonetheless, I am highly anticipating seeing this potentially amazing finale of a franchise that I have grown to love and adore. So those are all the movies and shows that I am looking forward to this coming summer, or more accurately, movies and shows that I will absolutely have to sit through for your entertainment. Tell me what you are looking forward to watching. As for recommendations, just watch any of these. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and see you next time!